Howdy, friends. As promised, it is review time. I get to review this Aklot Concert Mahogany Ukulele. I'm actually really excited to do this review. I have had the instrument for a week now and I have been playing it and the strings have settled in, and so I'm excited to tell you what I think. This is the first time I've gotten to do this sort of things. All right, so the first thing I want to do, everybody does this, looks at the accessories first, and it always drives me crazy when I watch review videos because I just want to see the instrument, but I understand why they do that. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the accessories first. Obviously, I have played with all these accessories over the last week. Well, not all of them, but I have pulled things out. But let me just show you really quickly. Obviously, you can, I have the ukulele right here, and there is this strap. It's webbing, and it's perfectly decent. I like it. It's comfortable, works just fine for me. And so it came with the strap. It has strap buttons on it, so it was easy to just put the strap on. It came with a decent tuner. Tunes the same as the other ones that I have that I like, so works just fine. That had the strap in it. And there's a cleaning cloth that I haven't used because I actually do have a few others, so I haven't pulled that one out yet. And some picks. I don't use picks, but the interesting thing in this is that there was a felt pick included. That's the first time I've ever gotten a felt pick included. And if I was going to use a pick on the ukulele, which I might if my hand was injured or something, I would use felt, not a plastic pick. And there's an extra set of Aquila strings, which is really decent. Aquila are not my favorite, but it's always nice to have an extra set of strings. And there's this little card with Aklot information on one side and a handy dandy chord chart on the other. And then my favorite thing in here, well, okay, the strap might be my favorite, but one of my favorite things in this accessory pack is this booklet. It is a really nice booklet. I don't know if it's pages. Yeah, it's got 25 pages in it. It's got instructions on strumming and palm muting. It has teaches you how to play scales, how to hold the instrument, how to tune it. This has a lot of good information that I haven't ever gotten in a kit before. So I was really impressed with the booklet that came with this. So. Decent accessories pack. I was very pleased considering the price point of this instrument. I was very pleased with the accessories pack. If you saw my unboxing video, you already got my first impressions of this case. It's kind of thin. It's not extremely protective, but for the price point, totally reasonable. Decent pocket. All the zippers work just fine. It's got backpack straps, which are my preference. So it's just fine. This gig bag is just fine. I actually have been carrying it around in a different one because I'm clumsy, and the other one I have is a little thicker. But this one's just fine, especially for the price point. I keep mentioning the price point. The current price as of December 18th, 2020 is $69.99. Decent price considering everything, just the things I've shown you so far. That's a decent price. Okay, let's move on to the instrument. I showed it to you a bit in my unboxing video. Right now we've got some light coming in that shows those beautiful stripes in the wood grain. This is solid mahogany. And I do love those stripes in the grain. See if I can. I have to say, and I think I said it in my unboxing video, this is a much more attractive instrument in person than it looked like in the photos I saw online or even the videos I saw online. I think it just doesn't come across on video as pretty as it actually is. It is a pretty instrument. This one is concert size, which means it has a 23-inch length and a 15-inch scale length from the nut to the saddle. It's 15 inches. As I said, it is solid mahogany. It comes with Aquila Nile Gut strings. I requested a low G because that is my preference. It has open geared tuners there, and they seem to work just fine. The tuners have plastic knobs. They're not the nice little grippy stuff, but these work just fine. It does have fret markers. So we have 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, and 17 here. We also have the same marking dots, the dots for the same frets on the side. The one thing that I felt like just playing it was that up the neck a bit, that the action was a little high. I checked it with my handy dandy string height tool here, action ruler, and it shows me that at the 12th fret it is 3 millimeters, which is from what I understand from my research, that's acceptable. To me, it's a little bit high because of my arthritis. As I come up the neck, I find it a little bit difficult to do bar chords, but that's because of my arthritis. I did measure the instruments I play the most to see where they are and why I find this to be a little high. And the highest of the ones I play the most is 2.25 millimeters. So I am accustomed to something that is a little bit lower action than this, but it's still acceptable. Other things about this, it does have, I don't know if you can see this in the video, slightly rounded edges. They're not sharp, they're not hard, they don't cut into your arm like some. I like that feature. I find that to be comfortable. Another thing that I noticed in reading the literature on the Amazon listing for this instrument is they have a 60-day money-back guarantee. And I've done a little bit of ukulele shopping. I love shopping for ukuleles. And I have to say, I don't think I've seen a 60-day money-back guarantee from anybody else. That fact alone makes me willing to try out. They have another instrument that I'm interested in trying out that's a higher price than this, but I want to try it out because if it's not the one for me, then they have a 60-day money-back guarantee, so I can play it for a while. Some of them are only 7 days, some of them are 30 days, and I think that's a really decent deal that you can send it back if it's just not the instrument for you. You have up to 60 days, so I think that's pretty cool. I checked the intonation on this, how it stays true to tune as you go up the neck, and I checked up at the 12th fret, and it is actually really decent. Stays in tune all the way up the neck. Okay, how about a little sound sample? I'll just play a little bit for you. I will say, I've had it for a week now, and I've been tuning it multiple times a day and playing it. I've essentially played this exclusively over the last week so that it could get settled and I could get accustomed to it and give you a reasonable review. So it is holding tune reasonably well. When I tune it now, I make the slightest adjustments, and so it's actually holding tune nicely. You may have noticed as I was doing my little sound samples, the sustain on this is really nice. I really like how long those notes hold out, especially when I'm finger picking. So, let me tell you what I think. What I like about this instrument, I like that sustain. I think it's beautiful. I've been working on a fingerstyle version of Silver Bells, and we've got an acoustically pleasing spot in our hallway. And I love to take this into the hallway and play it there, because between the sustain of the instrument and the acoustics of that spot in the hallway, it just rings around. And of course, Silver Bells is a perfect song to ring around with the echo in there. It's actually really pretty. I love the sustain on this. Another thing I like about this, it's a $70 instrument. I'm not afraid to take it out and about in public and take it in my car and carry it outside. Obviously, it is solid wood. I'm not going to take it out in the rain and snow and play with it out in the elements, but I'm not afraid to take it with me, because honestly, if it gets damaged, I can replace a $70 instrument. I think the price is absolutely decent for what I have here in my hands. I think it's actually an exceptional value. I think it is a pretty instrument, especially I can see the way the light's hitting the front of it here. You get those beautiful stripes in there. It's really pretty. It's very warm looking and pleasant to look at. There are a couple things that detract from it a little bit to me. One of them is actually the bird bridge. To me, that bridge looks like it's supposed to be an eagle. I believe, based on the dove on the headstock, that it is supposed to be a dove, but it does not look like a dove to me. It looks like an eagle, and the lack of continuity there bothers me a little bit. That is a minor little detail, and I may be the only person in the entire world bothered by something that minor. In general, I don't care for the shaped bridge. I would prefer that it was just rectangular or maybe slightly rounded or something, but I don't like the bird. That is aesthetics. It is my opinion. It has absolutely nothing to do with the playability of the instrument. They did ask for my opinion. That's my opinion. And I think I mentioned the action is a little bit higher than I like. I'm probably, once I'm done with this review, I'm probably going to take that down just a smidge, because I do bar chords further up the neck, and it is hard with my arthritic fingers sometimes. The other thing is I'm not a fan of Aklot Nile Get strings. They are stiffer than I like to play, and I don't love the sound. I have a set of Worth Browns with a low G that I just happen to have here, and I am actually going to put those on this when I'm done with this review and see how I like the Worth Browns on it, because the Worths tend to be softer on my hands, and I just like the warm tone of those strings. So if anybody's interested, maybe I'll come back and do a sound sample with this, with the Worth Browns, to see what it sounds like after I've changed the strings. That's another thing that's just my opinion. Strings are subjective, and if you like Aklot Nile Get strings, then you're in luck when you purchase one of these, because that's what you get, and they're perfectly fine. I have at least 3 other instruments with Aklot Nile Gets on them, and they're fine. The one other thing that I would change about this, if I could, is that I would make it a little bit louder, give it a little bit bigger voice, and I think maybe rounding this back would do that a little bit, or I'm not sure what other options there are to give it a little bit bigger voice, but I would do that, and strings may do that too, I'm not sure. But it's not my quietest instrument, but it is definitely not my loudest. And sometimes I feel like my singing overpowers the volume of the ukulele. But that is another minor detail. I can turn my own volume down and make sure that the instrument is heard. So that's another tiny little thing. It's not a big deal. Overall, this is an excellent value for the price as of today, basically $70. I would recommend it for basically anybody. It's a decent instrument, especially for the price, but regardless of the price, I think it's a decent instrument. I think it's really pretty, as I've mentioned. So, and to be honest, I had heard some sound samples of the Aklot Mahogany instruments, and I had seen some videos and I'd seen some pictures, and I was not expecting to be impressed. I did not think that I would really love this instrument. I thought that it was probably decent, but I didn't think I would love it. And honestly, I do. I love this. I'm eager to try the new strings and take that action down just a little bit, but overall, I really was surprised at how much I like this instrument, how much I like the sound, and how much I like the weight of it and the physical appearance of it. I actually have been moving it from room to room to keep it where I can see it, just because I think it's pretty. Most of my instruments, as you can probably tell, hang in my bedroom where I have a humidifier, and so this spends every night in the bedroom with a humidifier, but it kind of follows me around every day because I really do love it. So there is what I think about this Aklot Concert Mahogany Ukulele. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think if you have one. There will be a link to the Amazon listing in my description box, and if I have not answered all your questions, I will be happy to answer them in the comments. So thank you for watching. Have a great day and have a Merry Christmas.